Hello footy fans, welcome to another video on the Footy For All channel, and today we're doing another tier maker, surprise surprise, on AFL Coaches this time. So we've got 6 tiers, going all the way to Master to sack him, which is pretty harsh, but we'll move on. And to all you football novices out there, this is recorded all before, like a heads up, this is recorded before Nathan Buckley and Reece Shaw's sacking. So, yeah.
Or resigning.
Yeah, or resigning, you know. Or just their partial exits. So, yeah. So, starting things off with Simon Goodwin, and you look at Melbourne's record, 12-1 this season?
Yep.
They've been outstanding. And they've probably been one of the best sides over the last decade, I would say. Just looking, not particularly on their roster, but more their team game, their influence, their fitness, and their foot skills, and their, just skills around the footy and their contested ball. They've looked really sharp, and you can attribute that to Goodwin, but I'm not sure. It's just, it looks like he's finally got his players ready, because over the last 2 to 3 years, they just haven't looked up to par with the rest, like where they want to be, because Simon Goodwin's clearly stated a few times he wants to be with the very best, but they haven't been up to scratch, and now they look probably the best side in the competition, I would say. Better than the Bulldogs, I would say.
Yep.
But I would attribute that to actually, they made a new inclusion, Mark Williams, to their coaching board, and that's really helped Simon Goodwin, as I feel like Mark Williams is the premiership coach, and he can really
kind of taken some of the stress off Simon Goodwin.
Yeah, and that's why Simon Goodwin's flourished this season. I still think he's an above average coach, so I'm going to put him in good.
Alright, now Longmire. Alright, so Freo, they have been a very up and down team this decade, from 2010 to now. They got in the grand final once, I believe, 2013.
They've always been a consistent competitor, so...
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of in and out of the top 8 this season. They've been playing a bit inconsistently, but I don't think it's a reflection on the coach, like most other teams. I think...
Let me just put this out there before you continue. Fremantle have got a very old and very... their roster isn't much to shout about, so it's not really Longmire's fault.
Yeah, and it's the same with Geelong. Geelong is still performing quite well, as you know. Fremantle just aren't performing as great. I think they have the ability to do so much better. So that's why I'm going to put Longmire in the decent.
Alright, now Damien Hardwick.
Great coach.
So, I think he's a great coach. Led the Richmond to 2 premierships in a row, or
2 premierships
3
in a
over
row.
4 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3 over 4 years.
Absolute dynasty.
Yes. I reckon I'm gonna put him maybe the Master, or towards the probably the Master, maybe closer to the...
He's probably a top 3 coach in the game, I'd say.
Yeah.
Moving on to Chris Fagan. Now, you look at his tactical moves and you're like, okay, not much to shout about. But you look at... He's turned around this franchise immensely, and it's mainly a tribute to his heart-on-the-sleeve leadership and his willingness to connect with his players, and he's really good at, getting the best out of them, the toughest out of them, and he's just really good at, I don't know what the word is, but lifting the floor, lifting...
He's just lifted the whole team up, sort of.
And that's why I'm going to put him, not purely based on his coaching, but more of his personal and, mental attributes on the team, so I'm going to put him in a great tier. He's not quite as good as Harvey, but he's better than Goodwin.
Alright, now I got John Worsfold, who you all know is not the Essendon coach anymore, but I'll still rate him on what happened in the past few years.
He had to come back from a very bad position. He had to come back from the drug scandal.
Yeah. He went through a really hard time, and I think he was almost the same level as Longmire, so I am going to put him up in decent. Yeah, I reckon that's good. I reckon that's good.
Alright, so now John Longmire for Sydney. So I reckon, Sydney's, the way they've been playing, after the past couple of years, it's a bit inconsistent.
Up and down a lot.
Yeah.
They've looked like finals competitors and absolute bottom feeders at times.
Yes.
Yeah. I reckon he's a pretty decent coach with the way he
Same as Fagan,
Sydney.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're all great coaches to be picked as a
Yeah.
All of these guys
I
are
reckon-
excellent football masterminds.
Yeah, I
Some
reckon I
of these
might put him in the decent, maybe good. I might change that
I reckon, yeah.
later.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Moving on to Chris Scott now, obviously Geelong coach, and I can't give this guy enough credit. This guy is absolutely masterminded his stuff. He knows everything about football. He knows the ins and outs of the game. He knows what to do and when to do it. And I can't help and look at his tactics and look at his recent acquisitions to the team, and it actually looks brilliant. They're all every single one is a masterstroke, and it's incredible to think that he's got 10 players playing over 30.
Yeah.
And he still can make them run sides off their feet with his switch work and his overall contested football and his uncontested football around the ground. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is
And obviously he's a premiership coach and probably one of the most dominant teams of the 2010s. I have to put him in the Masters here.
And he was great again in last year's grand final.
Yeah, he did everything he could.
Unfortunate Geelong couldn't get over the line.
He did everything he could there.
Yeah, but congrats to Richmond, obviously. All right, next, Matthew Nicks. Now, he's come in at a hard time for the Crows.
Definitely.
Wooden spoon, 2020. They've picked it up a little in 2021, managing to beat Geelong somehow, after Geelong had such a great year the year before. I'm going to put him in the decent region because it's only his second year and
he's a smart guy, but he doesn't have the pieces right now.
Yeah, he's just building the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle right now, and I reckon in a few years' time, Crow's going to be
He'll be up there with
okay
Fagan in a
contender.
few years, I reckon. He's a very smart footballer.
Yeah.
So Ken Hinkley now for Port Adelaide. I reckon Ken Hinkley. He's a good coach. I reckon his last couple of years, Port have just been a bit unlucky with making it to the finals.
Fallen short with a lot of things.
Yeah.
I reckon
That's mainly an attribute to the roster, though.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good players, and Ken Hinkley knows how to work with the team and use their talent to the best of their advantage. I reckon he's a good coach. I might put him in the good, maybe decent. I'm more towards the good side, maybe decent. Yeah.
Okay, so Rhys Shaw, interim coach, had a few good games. Terrible now. Zach, poor. Absolutely terrible. Doesn't know anything.
All right. Leon Cameron. Now, I don't know. He managed to get his team to the grand final in 2019, but I don't know. They got absolutely spanked by Richmond. But he's still a good coach. Came in at the start of the GWS era, and he's still there. And I think to do that well for a brand new team, to stay in for 9 years now, almost 10. He's done really well. So I'm gonna put him in the good region because what he's got in GWS 2 is actually quite amazing.
Okay, Luke Beveridge now. I reckon he's with the way that Bulldogs have gone recently. I reckon he's a good coach. I reckon.
And they won the premiership in 2016. So
I reckon.
Yeah, that was mainly attributed to him too. But he put a few master strokes in that grand final.
Yeah.
Like playing Liam Picking and all that, saved the game.
yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he's probably good. Maybe a great coach. I'm gonna put him in the great. Maybe that will change later on.
Yeah, and we could shuffle it around.
Yep.
Could shuffle around at the end.
So grab David Teague now, and I think he's a step above Rhys Shaw, but a step below Matthew Nicks. So it's an awkward ranking, and I think he's good with the young talent, but he's just not a good coach. He's just pure and simple. He's just not. He's right for Carlton, but he's not right to compete for the finals, or even top 10. I reckon he's just a poor coach.
He's picked Carlton up a little bit, but I think that's
from
kind of
Bolton.
over.
He's been better than Bolton, but he's still not. He's still a step below Matthew Nicks.
Yeah. All right, Adam Simpson. Now,
Great coach.
led to the Eagles premiership in 2018. Great kick from, what's his name?
Dom Sheed.
Flog. Oh, he was alright.
Well, that was a blog on Maynard. Come on.
Yeah, alright, that's fair. Now, Adam Simpson, he's a great coach, like all the other ones. Not much else to say about him. He's
a heart on the sleeve leader.
I'm going to put him in the great region because, you've won a premiership with your team. I reckon that deserves to be in the great, at least.
Alright, Stuart Dew. I reckon he's a bit. I reckon
He's very overrated.
Yeah. I reckon he's probably in the poor category. I mean, with the Suns, the Gold Coast Suns have been alright this season, but I reckon past seasons they haven't been doing too well. They've started off strong and then just lost.
That's a trend with Gold Coast, I reckon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put him in the poor.
Yep, respectable. Now, I'm just going to clear something up before we start again. It seems like we're picking on bottom-feeding teams, like very bad teams and their coaches, but it's the reason they're bad teams. Like, you don't see a horrific team with a good coach. That's not how it goes.
And, like, you've got to build up your team before you
Yeah.
can get the greatest coach like Damien Hardwick or Chris Scott.
Or even, like, Clarko or something.
Yeah.
So bringing on to Brett Ratton, he's much more of like a, I don't know how to say it, but he's much more of like a physical presence leader, and you can feel his presence when even when I watch TV, you know, you can feel that the guy is a very emotional person, and
he tries so hard to pick St Kilda up.
He does. You see like footage of him sitting on the bench screaming at them. That's real leadership, man. And I love the way he goes about it, and he's very passionate, but he's also like he gets angry when it's necessary, and he loses his crap when he needs to.
Yeah.
And I respect him for that. So I reckon he's a good coach.
Alright, Nathan Buckley. I don't know what's happening to Collingwood this year. They have been such a great side. Like 2018, they got to the grand final. Unfortunate lose against West Coast. I don't know. I think he's indecent. I reckon he's maybe top of decent because he's done so well with Collingwood. Maybe a little under Brett Ratton.
And he's very smart. He's got a good football mind.
Yeah, and a little bit above Longmire. So I'm going to squeeze him in there in the decent.
Alright, now Alastair
Best
Clarkson.
coach of all time.
I reckon.
Come on,
he's a good coach. I reckon.
I think he's great. Like he won
He's a
back to back to back.
Yeah.
And
3 premierships.
I mean, that team was very good.
Yeah.
Now,
But
the last couple of years, Hawthorn haven't been doing too well.
And I will say something. I've lost a lot of respect for Alastair Clarkson because he's refusing to rebuild, and he's trying to win now. And Hawthorn clearly don't have the roster to do anything, and make any noise outside of the top 15.
Yeah.
So I think I've lost a lot of respect for him, but he's still a brilliant mastermind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I reckon he could go
He's a master.
in the good category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so great.
Yeah.
He was so
These
great
last
long
couple
ago.
of years, he's just let Hawthorn down.
Okay, so for the changes now, I reckon I'm gonna do something, and if we're talking about Clarko's 2013 to 2018 run, I'm gonna put him up probably the best of the best. I'll say, like the best of the very best. Change that. But yeah,
Don't worry about it, we know.
that's alright. And I reckon I'm actually gonna drop Buckley into the good tier, Goodwin down to the bad tier, decent tier, and I reckon it's a hard one. Longmire down to the poor tier because I just don't think he's got what it takes, and I reckon Simpson up in the master tier.
Yeah.
And even grab up Liam Cameron because he's done everything with that roster possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think there needs to be any changes. I think the bottom four are the bottom four because
They just suck, let's be honest.
they're just not as advanced as the other ones. And I think Matthew Nix in his second year is probably just a little bit below.
He's below the three and
John
decent.
Longmire, but he's a little bit above Reece Shaw.
He's definitely getting there.
Yeah, he's getting the Crows are getting better. Not saying because I am a Crows fan, but
Yeah,
I just do like the Matthew Nix's
I do like what the Crows are doing at the
and
moment.
the way he goes about
They're
it.
certainly on the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with how it's been.
Yeah.
Like.
I reckon that's a good final sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, taking that into account, that should be the end of this video. We'll see you guys next video. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Comment anything you disagree with or even agree with. I hope you guys really enjoyed, and we love making these videos for you.